fabricated shotgun, a weapon that resembles a blunderbuss more than it does any traditional weapon. Let me explain to you why you shouldn't use this hunk of trash. Now, for the majority of this video, I will be comparing the normal shotgun to the fabricated shotgun, because I think it's only fair to consider the two options when you're thinking of making a shotgun. So, in terms of making resources, for a normal shotgun, it's going to run you 80 metal, 20 wood, and 25 hide. This is a little bit less than a long neck. Now, if you want to craft a fabricated one, it's going to cost you 30 metal, 55 polymer, and 45 cementing paste. The shotgun consumes 1 durability per shot, with a durability of 300, which, for shotgun shells, is actually a decent amount of ammo to go through before breaking. Speaking of shells, both shotguns share the same ammo type, both firing simple shotgun shells, which each cost 12 gunpowder and 2.5 metal. I would like to make a correction. In previous videos I've stated that they've costed 21 gunpowder, and that was a miscalculation by me, so sorry for being stupid. Now the cost is all well and good, but let's actually compare the damage between the two of them. Well, with the normal shotgun you only fire 10 pellets for 64 damage, and with the fabricated shotgun you fire 46 for 14 pellets. However, the total damage for the normal shotgun is only 4 less than the fabricated shotgun at 640. Now this is weird. They do almost the same damage, but the fabricated shotgun goes for a higher pellet count, with each pellet doing less damage. This is actually the shotgun guide, so I will only be going over the detailed stats for the normal shotgun. If you're very interested in the fabricated shotgun, I've actually made a separate guide for that. So let's get into it. So we all know that the shotgun is a double barrel, so that means 2-round magazine, if we'll call it. So each shot fires at 2.85 rounds per second rate, but since it's a 1-2, all that it means is the delay from the first shot to the second, because there isn't a third. Now, if I've done my calculations properly, it'll be a roughly 0.35 second delay from the first to the second shot, and with the 3.33 second reload, gives you a 3.68 mag dump plus reload combination, meaning in 1 minute you can get through 32 shells for 20.5 thousand damage. Now the interesting thing to note is that the fabricated shotgun almost matches these stats. It will also go through 32 shells per minute, but because of its slightly higher damage, it will actually go through 20.6k per minute instead of 20.5. Now so far this weapon's been cracked up to be just a cheaper fabricated shotgun, almost the same damage and exactly the same shells per minute. Well, working with this thing, I can tell you from first hand, is a pain in the fucking ass. In that minute, roughly 90% of your time will be spent reloading, because every 2 shots you gotta reload, whereas with the fabricated shotgun, only about 38% of your time will be spent reloading. Now this has a lot of advantages. When you're reloading, you can't sprint, and you just can't shoot in the middle of your reload. So with the fabricated shotgun, it's just a lot better for actually being in a fight and not on a stats sheet. Now you may have been confused when earlier I compared this thing to a blunderbuss, and yeah, this video holds all the keys to your questions on why I would call it that. It really doesn't have beyond pike range, especially when you consider players. Because you have to break flak, it requires a very concentrated amount of damage in a very specific spot on a very small target, and the shotgun is incapable of that. I was even just trying to go around shooting Rexes for the gameplay, and that didn't turn out too well. I'm not comparing this against sniper either, it's just the other shotgun. You look at something like this, you just see the shotgun, you see how that one shot went about 4 foundations up? You can't kill players with it. I've had a guy bold and I put 2 shots in him and he walked it away because every shot hit a different piece. Okay, I'm just gonna go off script here and give you my personal thoughts. Look at me trying to snipe this Rex. I just gotta wait for him to finish up his little roar and get a bit closer to me. But the main issue I see with this thing in PvP, not that it's good in PvE, please don't get that impression, is that it's sort of on a spectrum with the 3 beginning smithy weapons, right? The long neck is amazing for killing players, but it's terrible for killing tames. Pistol is okay for players, okay for tames, and this thing is good for tames and terrible for players. But the issue I see with that is you're not killing a tame until you've killed the player. So effectively this thing's role is just to kill passive tames, which is super scummy. And then the range is just the biggest issue, because once you're in territory to be using this thing, you're in bola territory, which means you should be using your own bolas, because even if you're a very good player, you're not going to be killing people with guns until you have them bola'd or you've really put some time into them, by which stage they would have bola'd you. So you think of people like Kishko, and he carries bolas and uses them in close range because your character, you know, people jack up movement speed to make the small little female characters. You're not going to be hitting shit when that's running around you. For PvE, I would say just make a fabricated shotgun. Like, don't get lazy. This thing is mildly cheaper, but like at 1/4 the effectiveness. Out of all the guns in the game, I would rate this thing legitimately at the bottom. I would rather have a fabricated pistol because that at least fills a niche of being light. This thing's just kind of a sack of shit that wastes your resources. So please, don't craft this thing. If you get it in some kind of a drop, maybe consider using it if it's like in a Mastercraft version. But even then, I would almost prefer, not even almost, I would just prefer a normal fabricated shotgun. Overall, the shotgun is a cheap, yet very inaccurate weapon, with an incredibly high damage potential, but its short range never sees that being lived up to. And I mean, overall it's just abysmal, but you'll never fucking convince me that a double barrel shotgun isn't the coolest thing ever. If you found this video useful, informative, or whatever the hell else, remember to rip and tear those subscribe buttons, especially if you're excited for the next videos coming out. And let me know what you thought about my madman ramblings that went on for about 3 fucking minutes. I could really use the feedback. Anyway, good luck out there, Slayer. You're gonna need it.